On a Tuesday morning in May, the quiet, hard-working suburb of Carrollton, Texas, specifically the vibrant neighborhood known as Koreatown, became the site of a systematic and targeted execution. It didn't happen in a dark alley or under the cover of night. It happened at 10 a.m. in the parking lot of a bustling shopping center and continued into the private halls of an apartment complex just minutes away. As the news cycle churns through the events of the last 48 hours, a chilling narrative has emerged. This wasn't a crime of random opportunity or a sudden flash of road rage. This was the boiling over of a long, simmering financial feud. By the time the police had established their perimeter at the Koreatown Plaza, the suspect was already moving toward his second target, leaving a trail of 5 victims in his wake. Today, we go inside the investigation into 69-year-old Seung Ho Han. We'll look at the business meeting that turned into a massacre, the swift manhunt that ended in a grocery store parking lot, and the somber reality facing a community that prides itself on being peaceful and close-knit. This is a breakdown of a workplace dispute that ended in capital murder.
We begin tonight with a deadly mass shooting in Carrollton. Police say this was a targeted attack. 5 people were shot. 2 of them are dead. Good evening, I'm Steve Eager.
I'm Heather Hayes. Sky 4 is live now over that shooting scene. This happened at a Korean market near Hebron Parkway and 121. Police arrested the suspect just a few miles away. Fox 4's Sean Rabb live now with more. Sean.
Yeah, and let me show you the activity that's happening right now. FBI are still here processing what happened inside this Korean market, a shooting that took place during a meeting between owners or managers and the man who's now in custody. A shooting that rattled the nerves of folk who live in this area, rocked members of the Korean community to their very core, because the shooter was a man many of them know who made a decision today that time can't change or heal. Carrollton police pouring into the Koreatown shopping center at 121 and Hebron Parkway just as the morning breakfast rush was breaking up at McDonald's across the street.
We just had our breakfast rush going on. All we hear is a bunch of sirens going on from ambulances, fire trucks, and police cars. And we were all just concerned, wondering what's going on.
What was going on was a mass shooting. 5 people shot, 2 killed. Police say this was not random, but that one man in the meeting came prepared for a violent outcome.
This was an incident where it was not a random act. It was a known business relationship. We're still identifying, trying to work to identify what caused his actions.
The chief talking about the person behind the violence, a 69-year-old man with no criminal record. His name is Seung Ho Han. Police able to track him down with the help of the victims who were wounded. Were you able, through the victims, to identify him, to know who you were looking for, to know what kind of vehicle he was in?
That is correct.
The arrest some 3 miles away near Old Denton Highway and George Bush. Seung Ho Han was spotted by Carrollton police with lots of support from area law enforcement.
Yeah, our undercover officers, using our police technology, were able to find the suspect's vehicle and determine the current location. Upon their arrival, they identified him. A short foot pursuit took place, and he was taken into custody without incident.
The damage was done. 5 people shot, 2 dead, 3 others in the hospital. A business dispute leading to this. Longtime Korean community leader John knows all involved, the shooter and the victims.
I don't know if it's the rent or not, but I think it is with the conflict with businesses together. It happens in any situation in the community. And I think it just so happened that it might be temper that just went overloaded, and that's what happened. So I think that's what happened.
What happened here today, bringing profound pain to this quiet community.
Deeply sad. The Korean community of Carrollton is actually very tight-knit, and we work together very, very well. For something like this has happened, I'm deeply sad.
And you can see Carrollton firefighters here. You notice the water in the parking lot. They've been scrubbing the parking lot. Soon there'll be no visible reminders of what happened here, but to the families of the victims, those who lost their lives, those wounded, and to the general Korean community here in Carrollton, this is a day that won't soon be forgotten.
The violence began on May 5th, 2026, just before 10 a.m. A group of individuals met at the Gwangjang Korean Market within the Koreatown Plaza. According to investigators, this meeting was prearranged to discuss a professional dispute. Among the group was Seung Ho Han. Without warning, Han produced a firearm and opened fire on the group. In the chaos of the market parking lot, 4 people were struck. One victim, identified as 63-year-old Seung Ho, was killed on the spot. 3 others were left in stable but critical condition. As witnesses scrambled for cover and nearby businesses went into immediate lockdown, Han did not wait for the police to arrive. He fled the scene in a vehicle, but he wasn't finished. The second scene, Old Denton Road. While Carrollton police and FBI agents were swarming the shopping plaza, a second call came in at 11:13 a.m., roughly 75 minutes after the first shooting. This call led officers to an apartment complex in the 2700 block of Old Denton Road, about 4 miles away from the market. Inside one of the units, police discovered a second deceased male. It quickly became clear to the homicide unit that the 2 incidents were linked. The second victim was another associate of Han's, targeted in what police describe as a coordinated spree. The apprehension, the manhunt for Seung Ho Han, was remarkably brief but intense. Utilizing undercover surveillance and license plate reading technology, police tracked Han's vehicle to a nearby H-Mart grocery store. When officers attempted to make contact, Han led them on a short-foot pursuit through the parking lot before being tackled and taken into custody. The motive and confession. During his interrogation, Han was surprisingly candid. He acknowledged his role in both shootings, telling detectives he was driven by extreme anger over financial disagreements related to their shared business dealings. This admission changed the trajectory of the case from a mass shooting investigation to a capital murder prosecution. Chief Roberto Arredondo confirmed that Han knew every person he shot. This was a calculated removal of business rivals and associates. Community impact. The Koreatown community in Carrollton, home to over 4,000 residents of Korean descent, has been left reeling. Leaders in the community have expressed shock, noting that the Gwangjang Market area is typically a safe, family-oriented hub. The fact that the suspect is a 69-year-old man, an elder in a culture that deeply respects age, has added a layer of complexity and grief to the local response. As we look back at the events of May 5th through the 7th, the tragedy in Carrollton serves as a stark reminder of how quickly professional friction can turn into terminal violence. Seung Ho Han is currently held in the Denton County Jail, charged with capital murder, a charge that, in the state of Texas, carries the heaviest possible legal weight. 2 lives were lost. Seung Ho and a second male associate whose name continues to be withheld pending full family notification. 3 others are beginning the long road to physical and psychological recovery. The Koreatown Plaza has reopened, but the scars of the investigation remain in the form of evidence markers and the heavy presence of private security. In the world of true crime, we often look for monsters in the shadows, but this case shows us that sometimes the most dangerous threat is the person sitting across from you at a business meeting. A dispute over dollars and cents led to a debt that can never be repaid. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the Carrollton Koreatown shootings. As the legal proceedings against Seung Ho Han begin, the community begins its own process of healing, proving that while violence can disrupt a neighborhood, it cannot destroy the bonds of a people.
And won't you give my homeboy his change?
I don't want any trouble. Just get out.
Can't stand y'all.